Paul, what's your name?
Paul Von, that's capital V-O-N, capital L-U-H-R-T-E. Von Luhrte.
When were you born?
January 13, 1915.
Is Von Luhrte your last name?
Yes,
you say the Von.
Yeah. Von is a title name. Luhrte is a
German title name, isn't it?
yeah, German title name.
All right.
And according to my the major in charge, Luhrte is a French.
Oh, really?
That's what he said. Von was German, Luhrte was French.
Well, here, keep this with your stuff. Now, what this says is that you were interviewed by me on this date, and you are on tape number 15.
Okay.
And this tape will be at the Portsmouth Public Library. So if your great-great-great-nephews ever want to go down and see you, there you are.
There I am. Okay.
Now, you told me your name and your date of birth. Where were you born?
Portsmouth.
Portsmouth, Ohio. Okay. And do you live here at Hillview now?
I live in Hillview at present. Yeah.
Where were you before then?
South Shore, Kentucky.
Okay. What was your occupation?
I drove a film truck.
Drove what?
A film truck. We delivered motion picture film.
Oh, really?
To all the theaters in all as far as Beckley, West Virginia.
Is that right?
Princeton, all them places.
What was the name of the company that you worked for?
Well, Huntington, Cincinnati, truck lines. I went to work for them and then changed over to a company out of Charleston, Dawson Truck Line.
I see.
And that's who I retired from.
I see. Well, how much education do you have?
High school education.
And are you married, single, divorced, widow? Married. Okay. And how many children do you have?
No children.
And I'm trying to establish a genealogical line, too. So what were your parents' names?
Edward and Mary.
Edward and Mary. What was Mary's maiden name?
Walter.
Walter. Where were they from?
Aurora, Indiana.
Okay. Now, I'm going to ask you this question. What were your father's parents' names?
My father's parents' name was Herman Von Luhrte. And his grandmother, I switched my mind.
Okay.
What her name was.
Where were they from? Illinois?
No. He was evidently from Germany because this is just hearsay from down to the family. Nothing wrote down. That he was a guard in the Kaisers. That's where the bomb comes from.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, now let me ask you this. Were mother's parents' names?
Halk. H-A-U-C-K.
What was her father's first name?
That, I don't know.
What was her mother's maiden name?
I don't even know. Only thing I know is Halk.
Now, where was she from? Illinois?
No, they were from Germany.
Okay. Okay. Now, did you enlist? Were you drafted or?
I was drafted.
Okay. And when did you go into the service?
Where?
When? The
When?
date?
I went in November of 43.
All right. And when were you discharged?
9 months later.
Okay.
Whatever that is, I was in there 9 months.
What was your rank when you were discharged?
What was that?
Your rank?
Oh, PFC.
Okay. Did you go in the Army, the Navy, or
I was in the Army.
Okay. Did you do basic training?
Basic training at Camp Shelby, Mississippi.
Camp Shelby? Okay. After basic training, where did you go?
After we left basic training, we went on maneuvers in Louisiana,
Right.
and we were in there a long time. And while we were in there, our unit was transferred to Camp Pickett, Virginia.
What happened there?
Well, we were practicing boarding ships. We went out to the bay from Camp Pickett and boarded ships. And we were getting ready to go overseas. Yeah. And they were, we was taking shots. And that's where my problem originated.
What happened?
Well, we was in line. And
in line for what?
Getting shots.
Oh, getting your injections?
Getting our shots.
Okay.
And dumb me, I reached up in front of the guy like that in front of me and started squeezing on him. He just kicked me back on them big boots, you know. Yeah. And he kicked me on my shin. Well, I'd already had it injured, and it wouldn't heal. So I went about 2 weeks. I know what was going to happen when I went to the dispensary. And I did. I had to. And the doctor said, "How did you get in here?" I said, "Well, it wasn't me hard." And I said, but anyway, he said, "Go home and get your clothes." They put me in the base hospital at Camp Pickett 30 days and discharged me.
Because this guy kicked you in the shin, basically. How was your shin injured in the first place?
Football. Iron Stadium.
When you were a kid?
Yep. That was in 1933.
Oh, was that right?
Yeah. When I got my shin hurt.
And this guy kind of re-injured your...
Yes.
Yeah. So that was into your Army career?
That ended it. Yeah. At the time, I didn't want out. When you're in the States, you have a pretty good time. Mm-hmm. And there was nobody at home. Everybody else was gone. Mm-hmm. And I really didn't want out, but they went to the South Pacific.
Oh, these guys went down to the South Pacific.
Yes, sir.
Do you know what came of it after that?
There was only one instance that I've read a lot of books, and I've only run across one account of the 155th Infantry Division in a battle. And it didn't say what battle it was. It just mentioned that the 155th moved in on this battle. But outside that, I don't know.
It's not one that I've heard about, the 155th.
It was attached to the 31st Division, 155th Infantry.
And you stuck with it for?
I stuck with it from 1944 until 75 when I retired.
That's kind of interesting where you end up with a career. You didn't want to jump.
No, at that time I really didn't. I knew I was going to have to go to work, but not a week or so after I got out.
Is there anything else you'd like to say, like to tell me? Where did you grow up? In Portsmouth?
Yeah, I grew up in Portsmouth.
So you played Portsmouth football?
Played with, at the time, it was Central Catholic.
Central Catholic in
Portsmouth? Yes. That was Holy Redeemer and St. Mary's.
All right.
Played under a separate school. Played under a Central Catholic name.
I see. Okay.
And
you played in Ironton and got hurt.
We were playing Ironton St. Joseph. And
they're still there.
Oh, yeah. Now, that was back in time when they marked the field with lime. And somewhere or other I got my shin hurt a little bit, and it got infected. And back in that times, they had no antibiotics or any wonder drugs. And I've had various, Tom Williams for one, the surgeon up in Columbus, said, I don't see how you survived that. He said, we had nothing to cure it. But I did. I come out of it. Still got it.
Well, I was going to ask you, ever have trouble with that lake?
Every so often. If I get it, hit it.
How about the weather? Does the weather bother you?
No, weather doesn't bother.
Just if you bump it.
Yeah.
Well, thanks very much for coming in. I appreciate it.
Okay. I'm sorry, that's all I got to offer.
That's plenty. Okay. And you stuck with it for?
I stuck with it from 1944 until 75 when I retired.
That's kind of interesting way to end up with a career. You didn't want to jump them.
No, at that time I really didn't. I knew I was going to have to go to work, but not a week or so after I got out, you know.
Is there anything else you'd like to say, like to tell me? Where did you grow up? In Portsmouth?
Yeah, I grew up in Portsmouth.
So you played Portsmouth football?
Played with, at the time, it was Central Catholic.
Central Catholic in Portsmouth?
Yes. That was Holy Redeemer and St. Mary's.
Right.
Played under, separate school, played under a Central Catholic name.
I see. Okay.
And
you played in Ironton and got hurt?
We were playing Ironton St. Joseph. And
they're still there.
Oh, yeah. Now, that was back in time when they marked the field with lime. And somewhere or other I got my shin hurt a little bit, and it got infected. And back in that times, they had no antibiotics or any wonder drugs. And I've had various, Tom Williams, for one, the surgeon up in Columbus, said, I don't see how you survived that. He said, we had nothing to cure it. But I did. I come out of it. Still got it.
Well, I was going to ask you, ever have trouble with that lake?
Every so often. If I get it, hit it.
How about the weather? Does the weather bother you?
No, weather doesn't bother.
Just if you bump it.
Yeah.
Well, thanks very much for coming in. I appreciate it.
Okay. I'm sorry, that's all I got to offer.
That's plenty.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Yep, thank you.